Money's the motivation, money's the conversation. You on vacation.
So one of the biggest stories in the NBA this season has been the Oklahoma City Thunder and the struggles that they have been going through. It's a bit of a surprise because they have, I don't know, the reigning MVP, PG-13, and Hoodie Mello. But yet they're 14 and 15, KB. Tell me what's going on.
First of all, I'm not concerned. I still think this
Right.
I still think this team can turn it around before it's too late. But I will say, I'm not a fan of Billy Donovan. I do not think Billy Donovan's a good coach. I don't think he's fit for the NBA. I think he needs to just go back to college, and that's where he needs to stay. So, got that out of the way. So, when this team was formed, what was a lot of people's concern with this team?
They're all ball dominant players.
Yeah,
they're
all ball dominant players, which means that people were concerned that their defense would be the problem.
Yeah,
their defense is what's keeping them alive right now.
Steven Adams, is the best player on their team right now, honestly.
And they're fourth in opponents' points per game. They're first in the league in steals per game, and they're second in defensive rating. So their defense has been ridiculous this year. So their problem is the shooting. But they can break out of that. When you have scorers like Russ, like Melo, like Paul George, the shots will start to fall.
Mm-hmm.
And
you would think.
I think it will.
They're 30 games into the season, dude.
That's fine.
Is it?
Yes, it's fine.
Not when you're in the West, dude.
It's fine.
We'll talk about that, but
first of all, when you have those three and Steven Adams on the floor at the same time, there's one play you need to run. You have Paul George and Melo in opposite corners spreading the floor. You have Roberson doing whatever the hell he does, which is basically nothing.
I hate him so much.
You have Russ having the ball in his hands, and you work the pick and roll with Steven Adams, and let Russ do Russ. Yeah. Let Russ be Russ. Let him do the rest. They don't do that. They think iso ball is the best thing, and that's Billy Donovan right there. That's Billy Donovan.
Is it?
Yes, their game.
Is. That's their game.
I
just don't think this is a team that is meant to be together.
If you do that one play, someone's going to be open. You can have Roberson cut to the lane. He will probably get open.
Just to lay up the other.
Because he sucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if Russ is driving to the basket, he's going to draw attention from other defenders, which is going to leave someone open.
Fact.
I mean, obviously, it's probably easier said than done.
Yeah.
But that's how simple this offense should be. Yeah. Exactly.
And I agree. 100%.
Yeah. And, Steven Adams is a very, very, very good center in the league. Obviously, Westbrook is still top 10 players in the league right now. Paul George still is a great defender.
Top 15?
Yeah. And Melo can still get his...
Maybe not right now.
Yeah, not right now. But Melo can still get a bucket. But I'm not concerned with this team. I'm really not. For one, if they can squeak into the playoffs as an 8 seed or a 7 seed... Because, okay, you look at the games. It seems like they play down to the competition.
I was just about to say that. That's weird. I was just thinking that.
They killed the Warriors.
Yeah.
They killed the Warriors. I didn't really look at other teams that they beat, but they beat the Sixers the other night.
That was a crazy
That was
game.
A great game.
Oh my
gosh.
God.
A great game. So they play down to the competition, but if this team can sneak into the playoffs somehow as maybe a 7 seed or a 6 seed, if I'm the Warriors or I'm the Spurs or I'm the Rockets or I'm the Timberwolves and I have to face this team in the first round, that's not something I like to see. The shots will start to fall. Russ is playing. He's having one of his worst shooting seasons since his rookie year. Melo's having his worst season since he came into the league. I think they will turn it around. I really think that this team can make a run can turn things around. But it needs to start now, because if it doesn't start now, then Paul George is going to get traded, and it's just going to be Russ and Melo, and I don't think those two can do anything.
And that's kind of where I'm at this point, because I mean, you're exactly right. It is about it's about their big three at the end of the day, because they have no depth.
Right.
Steven Adams has been their best player generally over the course of the season. He's been the most consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they have Pat Patterson coming off the bench. He's a good role player. I understand that.
Arenas coming off the bench isn't bad.
He starts sometimes.
He should start over Roberson.
Yeah.
I
think it's because they know they don't play defense. Think about it, dude. They need someone.
Are you telling me if you put Roberson out of that starting lineup that will really kill their defense?
Russ does not play defense. It's no secret. Like,
Paul George plays defense. Steven Adams plays defense.
Not as much. But like we said, defense isn't their problem. They're giving up way too many points, and they're always trying to catch up. But they can't catch up because. So we were talking about Russ. This year he's shooting 38% field goal percentage, and that is one of his worst marks worst mark since his rookie year. But his best was only 45. 45% isn't bad.
45% is pretty good.
Because in terms of because you're shooting so many shots, different percentages is a huge difference. But first degree is 43. I don't want that out of my point guard with the volume he shoots at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then 30% from three with how many he shoots. And this year, the biggest difference is his free throw percentage.
Yeah,
70%.
That's gone way down. I don't know what it is with Russell.
He's generally automatic from the line. 70%, that's huge. 5 turnovers a game, and that's always been a huge issue for him.
So we can both agree that if they want to make a change, it starts with Russell Westbrook.
Yes, he is the leader of that. He should be the leader of that team. He is the leader of that team. He's the best player on that team. But he proved it last year. He had the year he had last year, winning MVP, averaging a triple-double every other night. He averaged a triple-double per game, but he essentially, it was 41 games, you know?
Yeah.
But he needs help because he was only the 6th seed last year and he couldn't do it. But
he does need help, but you look, if you take Westbrook off that team last year, that team doesn't win 15 games.
No
shot.
Chance. I think this team is better if you take one of these three out, because
that is one thing that I agree with. When they made that trade for Paul George, I loved it because obviously Oladipo wasn't the right fit. I thought Oladipo
he's
and Russ
balling right now, dude.
Obviously, it wasn't the right fit for him, because Oladipo, it seems like Oladipo needs to be that guy with the ball in his hands.
He was the first overall pick.
No, he was third.
Third?
Yeah, or second. Bennett was the first pick.
Yeah.
He should have been the first.
Yeah.
But I loved that trade they made to get Paul George. And then the Melo trade was just kind of
It's like they're trying to force something.
Yeah.
Like the NBA is trying to force something, with this another big three, But their big three, none of them are shooting over 40% from the field.
And that needs to change, and I do think it will. And when it changes, and when this team makes the playoffs, watch out.
This is what I think. On paper, they're capable of turning it around.
Mm-hmm.
Easily.
Yeah.
It's still early in the season.
Yeah.
But do I believe that they will? I don't think so, because, like we said, and their playing styles don't work together. It's apparent, dude. They're not progressing as a team.
No.
They're still they're hanging in there with teams, but they're always playing from behind.
Yeah.
They always have to do the most
that's
to try.
Not true, actually. They have actually blown a lot of leads this year. They've blown a lot of leads this year.
A lot of the games I watched are coming from behind.
Yeah.
And so, that's the thing. It's inconsistency, dude. That's when it gets down to the root of the issue.
It really is.
That whole team is inconsistent. But that's not a playoff team.
I think it's Billy Donovan. I 100%. Me and you can go in there and coach that team better. Come on. I mean, obviously they probably wouldn't listen to us, but when those four are on the court, you need one play. One play with multiple options.
I think Melo comes off the bench.
He should.
And then,
if Melo comes off the bench, then there's your scorer in the bench.
Yeah.
The guys that come off the bench in that second unit.
Yeah.
There's your scorer. There's the guy that will get you buckets.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do it, and Melo's not a Dwayne Wade that will take that on himself.
No.
Melo's he's all about himself.
But he also doesn't have a ring yet, so who knows? But at the end of the day, if their big three is going to be having over 72% of the ball, 72% of the game they're going to have the ball.
I mean, that was what people expected was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't expect those numbers having the ball 72% of the game. You know what I mean?
And I will say, they lost to the Pacers at Indiana. Obviously, Paul George had a horrible game because that was his first game back at Indiana. So there was a lot of emotions with him.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with Melo last night against the Knicks. First game back at Madison Square Garden, a lot of emotions. And he had a horrible game, too.
Yeah.
So
but at the end of the day, these guys are veterans. They're professionals.
they'll get it together.
They have to.
They have to, or Paul George is gone.
Or they might all be gone.
Well, I think Russ will definitely stay. But I can see Melo getting traded, too.
I can see them all wanting to leave this because nothing is happening in Oklahoma City. It's clear.
Sure.
All right, so we're good now. But another player that we think might be on the move.
No, he's not.
We'll see.